Thank you, Dr. Kosa, for your introduction, and thank you for having us today. So, I think we'll start with some sharing of new trends we're observing coming into 2024. So it's January, everybody's just back from New Year if you're celebrating Christmas, fresh start of the year. So, what are some things we find really interesting? So, uh, we've heard about digital transformation being discussed over the past 5 years. If we look back at when Germany's Chamber of Commerce started talking about Industry 4.0, that's about 10 full years, 11. So because we're now 2024, it started in 2012. However, the funny thing is that nobody has found a silver bullet at the moment as to say, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're now digital, you're now transformed, you're now successful. There's no silver bullet at the moment, but there's one thing that the community now has consensus is that you need a strategy. Without a strategy, your transformation will be difficult to say the least. So here's one of the templates that was shared by Jeff Winters. I think you can reference as a very easy way to actually start shaping what direction you're going. So no transformation is going to be done in a big bang. It's more like a spiral. So you start with small investments, make small changes, find out new things, build confidence, and start to grow. So it's a spiral way upwards until you're transforming all the different departments that support your business and actually have the numbers to back that up. So setting your goals, for example, if you want more efficiency, you want more productivity, you want better customer trust in your brand, and having the appropriate methodology, because that involves people. You might need to invest in more assets, buy more software, hardware to allow you to do it with the technology as well, and then actually quantify what is being done and what are the differences. Because a lot of the times when we do projects together for transforming any certain part of the industry, the difficulty has always been, how do we say we have grown, we have changed? A lot of the stuff in the past, there are no records, which is totally understandable, because at that point in time, that was not that KPI was not something that was critically important. But with the project, then that becomes a highlight. So I think this is also something Kusipan has also discussed a lot about in the community locally with many of the manufacturers, because if you can't quantify something, how can you say you've done it? What do you think, Kusipan?
Right, right. This is I think is this page quite very good, clear message during because it's most of Thailand company think about digital transformation. So when they think about digital transformation, but they not clear roadmap to transform, because sometimes for good example, sometimes some company they said, we already transform to digital because we already supply a notebook PC for each our officer. You know what it means? They think they already transform because they have is a computer on the desk for everyone, right? So we said no, that is not transform. That only digitize. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that a lot of that happens because some of the companies we encounter, so they say, before we are using Excel spreadsheets to do our finances. Now we just bought an ERP system. We're now digital.
Right.
But it's
right.
no difference. Just you're still having people write down stuff on a spreadsheet, except you're
Right.
doing it on paper and on a computer.
Uh-huh.
You're not increasing your efficiency really by too much, but you did spend a lot of money. And now
Right.
you're actually starting to come back to find use for that technology. So
Right.
technology itself is needed. It's the catalyst, the tool that will help you achieve the change, but it's not the change itself.
Okay. That is I think is quite good. For good example, I ref in Thailand, we are do total solution digital transformation for the customer. Most of customer in Thailand, we offer them like is a free assessment. It mean try to do is a free assessment first. It's quick win within 1 or 2 hours that they can do assessment by themselves. But if they need more detail, we have like a 1-day program assessment to for each department. Then when we assessment, you imagine like you are go to doctor. Sometimes we go to doctor in the hospital. You just to let them, I have some flu, but sometimes they need to assess you before they diagnose. And in the same digital transformation, we would like to know the assessment, then what the gap to transform. And also when they do like that, they need to select the technology. But before they select technology, they need to ensure they have like their goal first. Something like that,
Yeah.
Ihan.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that's something that's very important because, for example, I'm a bit overfed now after having some good food during Christmas. So at least if I want to have become more fit, at least I
Right,
should set a goal like, okay, maybe in this month I want to reduce my weight by 2 kilos, or I'll never get there. Yeah,
right,
and
right,
actually, in the course of doing this, I'll need to keep measurements. I need data to tell me, okay, if I start running for 30 minutes after dinner every night, how much change it's doing to me. So if we use this, for example, also to use the health part to maybe use a more daily life analogy to the IT part. This is something we're seeing that's been discussed in 23 last year, but it's not totally implemented there. But the direction is moving in that way. Is that we know we need data to be able to calculate the KPIs to quantify how well the change is being implemented. So in the past, if we look at the left side, the data from your production has to jump through all these different systems before the people in management are able to see it. So that becomes a problem because going through all these systems take time, take people, and take a lot of resources. But now they're saying that, okay, instead of having that information jump through different systems, can we have that information organized in a way where it's being served centrally in a hub so other people can access it because they know the right topic? So maybe say, for example, if I'm a small kid, my parents take me to the doctor because they found out, okay, I have a fever, I'm coughing, but as a kid I don't know how to say uh, I'm sick, I have the cold, or I have the flu, or even if I have COVID. I don't know how to tell the doctor. But because my father measures my temperature, he hears me coughing, he asks me if other kids in school also have COVID or have the flu, he has some more information that he can tell the doctor. So if we take this analogy and say, if all these different systems, instead, the doctor has access to that record, and he doesn't have to ask the kid who doesn't know how to express himself, or ask the father because he maybe missed out the question. Can he even know better when he has access to this data to diagnose the problem? A very likelihood, yes. And also, it doesn't need the parent or the kid actually to be in the clinic right away. They can do it maybe by telehealth, for example, just for some real life concepts. Yeah, I think a
right.
lot of the IT stuff is very challenging, right? Because they have systems that are on Excel, on some other old computer somewhere. But how do you get this stuff together in reality is challenging.
Right. Ian, as our topic, we talk about AIoT. Could you please define why we definition AIoT? What is mean for that?
Yeah. So the concept of AIoT has been around for several years, and that relates to using the data that we can gather from IoT, from the
Right.
sensors, from the machines, and then we can leverage AI to help enhance our efficiency to make better sense of the data. Because with IoT, the challenge has been it's so many dimensions that the human mind has difficulty comprehending how many variables needs to be handled in order to produce something good or to be more optimized. So that's where AIoT is coming. So maybe I'll use that concept to actually move into this third slide. Is that we know that OpenAI has started to be a very hot topic since 22. So sorry, end of 22, 23. So last year, we Advantech also entered collaboration further with Microsoft on OpenAI on generative AI to leverage the data we can do. And we found that there are actually many things that having these numbers can allow systems to help reduce the learning curve for new people who are joining the team, to reduce the search time for answers, and also to break things down in ways where the human person might miss because there's just too much data to work with. Now, is there anything on AIoT, Quincy, you wanted to go into in specific?
Right, because it's AIoT is mean normally is from the IoT. For manufacturing is a very industrial IoT that we have like a quick win from the A2 perspective with low code, no code. May you come back to unified namespace, the previous page. I think it's when we thinking about many customer that we meet, they try to get real-time data. When they need to do that, they start with the PLC. We start with the SCADA. That a bit take time. So new perspective of unified namespace. How can do like A2 cloud technology? Can you describe on that? Because I saw in the orange color that is is easier to make is a quick win with the AIoT.
Okay, sure. I think that's a good point to start. So if we look at the traditional way to do it first, you need to maybe from the PLC in your equipment, find out where the data is that you need, or just find out everything first, because at that point it's probably hard to say which are the only ones you need and be future proof. So probably get everything. And then once that's done, you might have some kind of edge computing with SCADA, and then you dump all the data in it and maybe have some localized visualization so you can control the equipment without being in front of it. And if you want to change that data into any kind of KPI metrics and also to include the metadata from your work orders, you have to send it back to the MES. And only if you have access to the MES, you can see data. So if we take it from an IT perspective, doing this step, data extraction from the shop floor to the SCADA will probably take you at least 3 to 6 months just for a type of equipment. And then once that data is there, people start sitting down because they have data to discuss, and they start looking at, so what kind of information, what kind of insights we want to do or decisions we want to do based on that data. And then they implement the controls in the MES and then get the data from SCADA. That's another 3 to 6 months. So with the discussion, you are spending at least 6 months to 12 months, which is 1 year,
Right.
before you actually have anything you can act on. Okay. So instead of doing it this way, why can't we just look at the IoT device? So that device would be any of your equipment, additional sensors you need to make sense of what your machine is doing. These are not classically IoT ready stuff, because those equipment has likely been used in your plant for already 5 to 10 years or 20 years even, but they're doing good. They're working, they can provide data, and what all we need to do is get that data out of there and make it available to everybody who needs it. It's not like the SCADA people want to be the person who's owning and serving everything, because everybody comes to them asking for data. MES likewise. So if we can move it to UNS, so the technology underneath it would be MQTT. So we publish the data into the central hub under a topic. For example, this is the machine in the M building on the fourth floor in line 1. Then we can have that information here saying, okay, this is the M building, this is the SMT line, and their lines are line 1, and then maybe station 4 being that machine 4. And other systems which need this data, they can go look up this data here, which is like a phone book, an address book for your data. And they can read the data. Other systems can read the data if they need it, or they can just ignore it totally. Now, in this way, we're no longer waiting for other people to serve the data, because it's now shared and accessible with all the systems as long as they are caring about the right subject. So this is a way we found that really essentially can compress the time to extract the data to make things available, because doing this IoT to publishing usually just takes about 3 months compared to the half a year to 1 year preparation just to get stuff into MES classically.
Right. It means IoT a true cloud that can share data for all forms ERP SCADA. Then they have like quite a quick win project. I try to imagine like I have smartwatch here. When I do a true cloud with smartwatch, very simplified. It means I just to take is buy smartwatch that a device like a sensor. Then I just to open Bluetooth on my phone. Then connect, sync the data. Just few minutes. That is my phone. Can saw is my baud rate. If I sleep, can know how I can sleep rate, something like that. So that I think quite good. So then if we understand quite well about a true cloud technology, when we implement like your machine is a machine SMT1, we just to do is a quick connection. Then a true cloud happen in a week. That I think is quite good for real-time monitoring and real-time analytic platform. Then how AI can enhance from IoT perspective, because you mentioned is as a Microsoft partner in global partner, how AI can embed on the platform and the system.
So before I switch to the next page, I'll use this diagram on the right side again. So we have on this diagram cloud, SCADA, MES, ERP, all a bunch of systems that are actually both contributing the data and also consuming the data. So on the AI part with Microsoft, it will actually be here in the cloud bit. So this data actually is being used by OpenAI to train and make sense of what is going on in the manufacturing scenario, so that we can actually do assistance systems and recommendation systems or automation based on that data. Because without data, AI doesn't know what it's supposed to do. It doesn't make sense of things. So the interesting part is that because now we have the data from the equipment, we may also have the SOP documents from your management processes, your policies. That information tells the AI, we teach it, so it understands that, for example, if you have a feeder jam in your cookie dough machine, then the thing to do for the engineer that's going to fix the problem is to go and shut down the machine, clean out the dough that has dried out in the nozzle, and then turn the machine back on to check if it's flowing. So this information can be taught to the AI. So you can ask it like a search engine or like your more friendly senior colleague who has been working there for 10 years. Yeah, so because this is actually the way people are working in the real life environment. They're still using that data, except in the past, without these systems, without the UNS, they might have to go back to the office, go to the bookshelf, find the manual of the equipment, and flip through the index to find that specific error and what has to be done. Or if they're lucky, their senior colleague is friendly and happens to be on the production floor with them, they can turn around and ask the person. So you can see here, what is the faster way? Definitely the way to go ask someone with more experience is faster. But that person is faster is because he has experience, he has data that he has accumulated because of his years of experience. So he's able to turn that into an actionable insight for that newcomer. And this is precisely what we're leveraging the data from UNS and also the practices and policies that the company has outlined, and use AI to shorten the time span that you need to build the experience to make sense of the data. Okay. So that's our approach with Microsoft to do this. And we'll also be showing a case where we're doing with both OE and interlocking with maintenance just in a bit. Yeah. So, Kusipon, any ideas you think that will be leverageable for generative AI in where we are doing?
Right. In Thailand, is trend is I think it's three big trend in Thailand. AI in manufacturing. It means they can have like AI assistant, like camera inspection to look at the quality. You can imagine it's a defect part. Sometimes if one operator stand whole shift 8 hours, you can imagine how your eye can on 8 hours is impossible.
That's
So
not possible.
right. So they just have like AI camera to help operator to detect. Like it's double check. They have AI camera. They have operator to do that. So this is AI in quality perspective. Sometimes AI in safety or PPE. So if the operator access in the room, that is quite food control. So they just have is a complete or PPE that can access the room, something like that. And also in safety or everyone. And also I like some case study that is in food industry. They use AI in whole factory to make more easier to control something like that. And also like engineer that you said, if they need to correct downtime in the machine, but they don't have experience, they can just ask AI how to fix machine number one, something like that. Then it's AI can feed information like instruction manual to follow up to fix it, something like that. That to quick win because I have not much experience, but AI can feed more information. That quite good. First part for AI in Thailand in manufacturing, and also in back office like account person or purchase person, they can use AI like IRPA. It means intelligent robot process automation. That you can imagine they have 100 invoice in hand to key in the computer. Right now they don't need to do that. They just to one invoice scan. Then AI can read, then input all data to the computer. In interest, they input one by one, something like that. That trend in Thailand manufacturing and enterprise do a lot with AI. The same way I think is Advantech have is good solution for that. The second thing I think is energy is a cost in Thailand and around the world is quite high. So how to manage energy saving cost, because 20 or 30% quite high. So for energy management platform, I saw in a customer in Taiwan that they have like optimization with the AI. It means sometimes it's peak, maybe it's over in the next 2 hours something. AI can suggest, or if you not manage something, you will have peak charge from the electricity authorization something. So manufacturing can have like is a capacitor or solar to absorb the peak period. I think that's quite good to manage, reduce some cost.
Yeah, totally agree.
Right.
Totally
That is many opportunity with AI. So I think it's if someone in the webinar today not think about how AI can assist us, please consider about that and try to study. And also we have some case with the Anne to show how AI can assist your work and how AI can help your organization make more smart. I think it's that quite good.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I'm product manager of the iFactory. So today I'm gonna talking about the topic from manufacturing decarbonization to lower carbon manufacturing. Okay, so let's start with this question. Has your company implemented automation already? Everyone has encountered traditional factories that may be constrained by inflexible production process, rigid production line setup leading to inefficiency and low productivity before deciding to purchase equipment, or because of the reliance of the large amounts of manual labor. Not only is the cost of labor too high, but it may also be affected by the labor shortages. Therefore, the company evaluated that the introduction of automated equipment was the best solution to above problem. However, has productivity truly increased after equipment automation? Factory OE can help. Advantech Factory OE is a tool that can support your company understand whether your equipment's productivity is improving or not. So this Factory OE is you can say it's the factory management tool designed to elevate production efficiency and prioritize sustainability. Through the data analytics, it provides real-time monitoring of energy consumption, effectively reduce carbon emissions. And our commitment lies in creating an efficient and eco-friendly production model, optimizing your factory for peak performance while minimizing environmental impact, and experience the future of smart and sustainable manufacturing with Factory OE. Okay, so I'm gonna use this architecture to open up the look of this product. There are many possible sources of data for the plants. For example, the PLC-based device data can be transferred to our data platform RTN via Mobox or OPC-UA. And other protocol can also be imported into RTN after conversion to MQTT via Advantech AgILink and Web Access. In addition, database and sensor signal can also be connect directly to the data platform RTN. And after RTN collect various machine data, it is pre-processed and then dropped into Factory and OEE and presented. This is the whole process from data collection to presentation. And this is a very classic application scenario that's factory.
And sorry, may you can come back to for architect, right? Okay, I think this is quite interesting. And normally when we talk about OEE in manufacturing, we just to get data from productivity count. Then we will know like available time, performance speed, and also quality ratio. Then is when we need to know how much the energy consumption per productivity, we just to ask another department like engineering department how power meter can get data. Some manufacturing they don't have power meter at the machine side. They have power meter on MDB. It means main is breaker, they have it. So they don't know exactly is a carbon footprint product. As your architecture from Factory OEE that we can integrate from performance perspective like OEE value plus the power meter can connect to the RTM then when the production machine running, they should have like performance productivity per energy consumption. That right?
Right. So not only for the energy or the carbon emission, but also we can put the DB into the factory OE as well. So we can separate the carbon emission or energy consumption per work order. So that is a really spotlight of this factory OEE. You can get the information, you can get the OEE information not only by the machine but also by work order, because we can get the data not only from the PLC or sensor but also the database.
Okay, it means some customer they already have as a PLC, they have OPC database from SCADA. It means RTM can connect their data, then convert to the platform to get like energy consumption. It's a work order or maintenance job order, something like that. Can do both, right?
Right.
Wow, that's great. Okay, let's go on.
Okay. So let's back to this classic application scenario that factory OE can provide. Machine data is dropped through the gateway to our data platform RTN and processed and analyzed and then present as a dashboard. So for the shop floor manager, the real-time dashboard help them to keep track of the status of each machine in real time. And for the machine makers, the analyzed data can be used to make the right decision. Okay. So next, I would like to use 4 slides to more detail about factory OEE. Okay. So the first, we're gonna create equipment asset list. And here you can set an asset profile, determine the equipment description and useful life, and manage the device lifecycle and configure the monitor item required by the device. And the second one is self-defined formula for a device matrix. Each industry or each company has a different way of management. For example, the company's management practice is to multiply the matrix by 90%. And this addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division can be defined by the end user.
Right. And can you stay on that page?
Okay.
Right. Okay, I think this is quite good information to know, because it's as our experience to work with the many manufacturing in Thailand. I think this is quite flexible and self-defined formula for OEE. Some factory OEE's formula is different. For example, some company they have OEE that is accrued for plant downtime like preventive maintenance, lunch time they accrued, but some company they including in the formula. So OEE different formula is different value. And also we have like as we discuss some manufacturing, they have a continuous process. It means that process quite not count by pieces, but they count continue. So they have some signal to count. I think it's that quite good to have value, then value that can change formula for OEE, quite flexible on that. And also some automotive industry, they not call OEE, they call OLE, overall labor efficiency, because it's they have one station for one operator. They don't need to look at the OEE by machine, but they need to know it's a labor efficiency by the operator to assemble pieces on their station, something like that. I think it's your mentioned self-defined formula will help a lot to flexible OEE, because in one factory they have is a past assembly line, they have is a packing line, is OE different formula. So we are flexible to do that, right?
Right. So like in the past, we faced some customer and their IT person say that in the past they just get used to hard coding to change the formula, but now they just need to use this function to change the formula and recalculate the correct KPI they want to see. So it's a really benefit for the IT department.
Okay. I think quite good. I mentioned about OEE and OLE. Dr. Gosak still with us, right? Can you explain a bit what different from OEE and OLE?
So you want me to explain in Thai or in English, please?
In
Yeah.
English, please.
All right. So when we talk about like kind of the indicator to measure the performance or the productivities in the production line, so it depends on the character of your line. So if you're familiar with a production process, you may familiar with like the word like kind of the continuous process or discrete process or job shop process. Okay, let's say these three things. Whenever you deal with a kind of the manufacturing process, if the majority of the productions productivities is rely on the machine availabilities and its uptime. Okay, ถ้าเครื่องจักรนะครับเป็นตัวหลักในการกำหนดประสิทธิภาพของลายทุกอย่างขึ้นอยู่กับตัวแท็กไทม์และเวลาการทำงานแล้วก็อัพไทม์ของเครื่องจักร so it is very suitable to use a kind of OEE because of OEE stand for the overall equipment effectiveness, which is the very simple calculations. You have like only just three parameters to be concerned: the A, the P, and the Q, which is stand for availabilities, productivities, and the quality rates. When you talk about the availabilities, it means if you have like specific working time, whatever you consider, 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, but that is the time that you have to want to concern. And how many percent, let's say percent, the proportion of uptime and the all time you have. Like if you want the machine work 24 hours and it's work and stop, whatever happened, and you really work just like 20 hours. So you have like 20 by 24. So you have like about like 80%, something like that. This is for A. And for P is mean for P is the productivity or the performance of the machines. What you need to concern is what is the standard speed. The standard speed is like the speed at the nameplate of the machines. And if you don't have the nameplate because of the machine is the custom made or very, very custom for something, but you need the base it can do. Suppose you have like 100 pieces per minute. So and at that minute you have only 90 pieces. So it's mean the P value is 90%. And the Q rate, very simple. That is the yield of the productions. So the OK divide by the all production pieces. So these three values, you just simply multiply it all together. A multiplied by P multiplied by Q, and what you got is the OEE. But sometimes somehow it's not like that, because of your production line consists of some semi-autonomous line together with the machines. So what it means? It means the takt time is rely on the abilities and the performance of the workers, the operators, right? So the proper rate we want to use is the OLE, the overall labor efficiency. So which is you need to have like kind of the record or the statistic, the expectation, the standard, the work instruction, how fast they can go, and what they can really go in that hour. And the calculation is very similar to OEE, but in the concept is different because of it's not continuous like that, because of you may not have to concern the A much, because of it is people and they always like work all time, but the most concern is the P value. So another actually that there is another is OPE, overall plant efficiency, which is maybe if we have time we can discuss later นะครับก็เดี๋ยวขอ recap ภาษาไทยนิดนึงสำหรับคนที่แบบอาจจะถ้าฟังไม่ทันนะครับขอโทษด้วยนะครับถ้าฟังทันแล้วก็ดีครับแต่ถ้าเมื่อกี้ใครฟังไม่ทันขออภัยอย่างนี้ครับ OEE กับ OLE จะต่างกันตรงที่ถ้ามันเป็น machine หมดเลยทุกอย่างขึ้นอยู่กับ machine ใช้ OEE นะครับแต่ว่าถ้ามันมีคนเข้าไปไม่ว่าจะเป็นเหตุผลเพราะเครื่องมันเป็น semi auto หรือมันมีลายที่เป็น hand work หรือ hand job เข้าไป insert อยู่ตรงนั้นแล้วมันทำให้ตัวที่เป็นคอขวดหรือว่าตัวที่แบบว่า control speed ของลายทั้งหมดเลยครับคือจุดที่เป็นคนเนี่ยมันก็ไม่เหมาะแล้วที่จะไปใช้แบบ OEE ของลายมันอาจจะเป็น OLE เพราะว่าตัวคนมันจะเป็นตัวกำหนดสปีดทั้งหลายทั้งแหล่นะครับก็อาจจะต้องเลือกใช้ให้เหมาะสมแต่ทั้งนี้ทั้งนั้นสูตรคำนวณมันไม่ได้ซับซ้อนเลยนะครับมันเหมือนเทียบสัดส่วนของค่า actual กับข้างตัวหารก็เป็นค่าคาดหวังหรือว่าเป็นค่ามาตรฐานเนี้ยจับหารกันเราก็จะมีค่าตัวแปรสมมุติว่า OE ก็มี A กับ P แล้วก็ Q จับมา3ค่ามาคูณกันนะ A คือ available time นะ P performance และ Q ก็ quality rate quality rate ก็ simple มากก็คือ yield นั่นเองนะครับของดีส่วนด้วยของทั้งหมดที่ผลิตได้นะครับก็คือโอเคส่วนด้วย input นะครับสมมติว่าผลิตไป100ชิ้นได้ดีแค่98ชิ้นก็98%อย่างเงี้ยครับ
โอเคขอบคุณครับดร.อยากมีส่วนร่วมจากผู้ฟังทุกท่านนะครับเมื่อกี้ที่ดร.กอศักดิ์อธิบายครับว่าที่โรงงานของท่านนะครับวัดเฉพาะ OEE อย่างเดียวไหมถ้าวัดโดย OEE เนี่ยกด1ให้หน่อยครับนะครับกด1ให้หน่อยแต่ถ้าโรงงานของท่านมีเครื่องจักรที่เป็น semi auto หรือเป็นworkstation ที่มี operator อยู่ท่านควรจะวัด overall labor efficiency ไหมเนี่ยขอรบกวนกด2นิดนึงครับจะได้ทราบว่าโรงงานของท่านวิธีการวัดแบบไหนครับสัก1นาทีเดี๋ยวน้องป่านดูให้นิดนึงครับว่ามี1มี2บ้างไหมแสดงว่าเนี่ยนะตอนที่ท่านเอาระบบไปใช้เนี่ยนะครับวิธีการวัดท่านต้องวัดให้ถูกนะเพราะว่า OEE เนี่ย
มี2มี1ปนกันเต็มเลยครับ2ปนกันเต็มเลยครับก็ปนกันเข้ามาสำหรับท่านที่ขอสไลด์เดี๋ยวแจ้งแอดมินเราอีกทีนะครับเดี๋ยวตอนจบมี QR code ให้สแกนแอดเฟรนด์กับ Line Official ของเราแล้วก็บอกน้องอีกทีว่าขอสไลด์นะครับรบกวนคุณปากามาศนะครับที่ขอมาในช่องแชทมี2มี1ปนกันครับตอนนี้ดูสถิติแบบก็50-50ครับไม่50-502ที่เยอะกว่า1หน่อยนึงก็เหมือนกับว่ามันก็ยังมีจุดที่มันมีคนเข้าไปเป็นส่วนสำคัญในการกำหนด performance นะครับพวก1ก็พวก full auto นี่ก็ machine เป็นส่วนสำคัญอันนี้เข้าใจ
โอเค good to know ครับ good to know and we just to describe for OEE and OLE in manufacturing for the audience that 50-50 is means some manufacturing they can measure OLE better than measured by OEE. So that can have a right KPI for the operator how the good performance or not. Right.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So we just set up the equipment list and define the formula. So here we combine the device and the formula and calculate it. So for example, if you want to see the OEE of machine 1 and machine 2 in the reports, then you just add machine 1 and machine 2 to the OEE indicator. Okay. And here, finally, we can see the metrics of this device in this inside reports. Okay, so look at the left row, and this is the list of the equipment that have just been added, such as SMT line 1, machine 2. And it is in the second row are the metrics that have just been defined, such as availability, performance, like quality, and OEE. Okay, so on the right side, these are based on the time. For example, the production line from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. The machine 1 production time from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock is 3,600%, and the availability is 100%, and the quality is 97%. So these reports can be switched between hourly and daily, weekly, and monthly. And finally, this information serve as a powerful data source for the OpenAI here. So the user and operator can be used to ask for the answer to the data you want to know through the natural language. For example, what's the OE of SMT line 1, machine 1 today? So the OpenAI will reply to you in natural language as well.
Okay. And it's been I saw benefit from this setup gain insight to think. One thing that is AI can help trigger for by hourly is mean every hour how performance on machine, how performance on each production area that can trigger to as you said for 80%. If lower than 80%, maybe trigger some notification on the mobile phone, right? And also AI can help for example, if production manager in the morning, I just to ask AI can help to define which line have is great performance. AI can answer that in a few seconds, right?
Right. If we get the data already from these reports, and this AI can answer what do you want. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
So additional to the reports, there is also a visualization dashboard. So this dashboard shows the OEE from the perspective of the whole workshop. And so from the upper left corner, you can see the total OEE of SMT workshop is 86%. And the APQ is 91, 96, 99. Okay, and this dashboard looks at OEE not only from the machine perspective, but also from the work order perspective. So you can get the clear picture of the what work order are being produced in this SMT shop, and how many of them are being produced. So you can see what the APQ is for each work order. Okay. And the two panels on the right show the energy consumption and carbon emission, and which use in this workshop. And finally, you can also see which machine in the workshop had an alert and duration of the alerts. And additional to looking at the productivity of an entire workshop, it's also possible to look at the productivity of the single machines. So the top half contain basic information about the single device, includes current status, production order, actual quantity, time of the production, energy consumption, and carbon emission, and visualize the visualization of machine status. Okay. So the green part is the production, and the blue bar mean they are the schedule break, and the white mean they are changing the line. So you can see the whole status of this machine visualization. Okay. And the bottom right, lower left corner, you can see the alert that this machine has produced and the detail of the alert. And bottom right corner shows the detail of the production of this machine, such as actual output, good and defective products quantity. Okay. So let's do a little recap here. With the introduction of factory OE solution, enterprise can fully understand whether the automation equipment has really increased productivity after the equipment is automatic. Okay.
And can you come back to that page a bit?
Okay.
Right. I just to recognize that Heng talk about unified namespace. To I just to thinking to integrate on that page. It mean Heng, may you can share, because I think in this page many data show on the screen came from IoT or came from ERP. For example, is I just to think about how work order can show on the screen on this page. How is a machine know what is the temperature alarm on this. It means some unified namespace or IoT can help to get data from many source of data to show on the screen dashboard. Is it correct?
Yes, I think it's in the same way that you mentioned, Kunzipan. So if we have a company, usually they have some sort of ERP or MES-like system already there. And they already have their own definitions how they want to manage the data. So when we do this kind of transformation projects, if it's already working, we don't want to change it, because that would change the process, which is not something that's the focus of the transformation at this point. So that data we uses the UNS principle, so that data is also accessible from iFactory without having to re-input or to redefine what it already is. And when we build the dashboard or when we calculate the KPI metrics, we use that data in UNS as metadata to enrich and enhance the information so that we can attribute, for example, as Anne just introduced, the power usage, the OE to a specific workload, instead of just having a general number. Yeah.
Right. I just so imagine that Anne mentioned on the right side, it dashboard in the shop floor. The left side, dashboard in the office. So it's meant for this dashboard benefit for the planning. They know work order, which work order running, which work order is incomplete or pending something. I saw this benefit for any energy engineering department or maintenance department. They know machine alert. They know what machine is a recent code show like is a temperature downtime or temperature is error. I saw is OEE for the production supervisor can get they are on plan production or lack of production or not to make is a proactive action something.
Yes.
That is combination of information for the shop floor, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. And you make is my life more easier. I can imagine when I work in the production, if I have this information, I don't need to ask many person. I just to look at the dashboard and do some decision is quite quicker and
correct. So yeah, supervisor just need to sit in their office and control everything in the shop floor.
Right. Okay. Go next.
Right. So let's move to another question everyone might not want to know. So the automation of equipment increase productivity already, but does it also increase energy costs as well? Especially the energy costs higher and higher every year. Okay. So continues with this report generated earlier, it's also possible to add energy consumption and carbon emission data to the formula setup. Looks here. Okay. So at the same time, because of the information on the work order, here is the work order is 3188. And energy consumption and carbon emission can be broken down to each piece. And taking this graph as an example, you can note that energy consumed by the M1 machine in this hour is 45 kWh. And we can get the carbon emission information of 22.59 kilogram by converting the carbon coefficient. And further, it's possible to graph each piece consume 0.48 kWh. It's here of energy and 0.24 kilogram of carbon emission in this hour. So the customer can use this information to accurately calculate the share of energy and carbon emission in the production cost of their product. So it's a really benefits for the customer calculate the carbon footprint of their product.
Right. And may I have some question for this page to more clear?
Okay.
For example, I saw many engineering department they gathering data from the power meter every 15 minutes. It means they have 1 kilowatt from power meter every 15 minutes 4 times in 1 hour. Then we have production productivity like we have each minute, right? So the system can help to calculate like 1 hour. Then its dashboard can show what the productivity per energy consumption, something like that, right?
Right. They calculate 10 minutes per 10 minutes. So like machine one, they will calculate 10 plus 10 plus 10 until the 1 hour. So they will show 1 bar in 1 hour. So they can understand this machine one making during this 1 hour, they are making this work order, this part number, and also they use this kind of the power consumption and carbon emission during this hour.
Right. Why I ask this? I think it's many as manufacturing organization in Thailand. They need like CFO certificate, and when they need to more complex about CFP carbon footprint product certificate, it means this can help a lot in terms of they know which production line, which product they run on that production line would be more easier to get data to show a carbon footprint product. May I need help again, Dr. Kosak. Could you please help me to explain more in the audience for carbon footprint product, how more easier for this page as an explanation?
Yes, sure. I will. Before we go like kind of to talking about the carbon footprint, so this concept is brought to us like firstly by the European Union and the the country like the country in the group of like G8, G7, something like that. So what a concern is about like the sustainability of the manufacturing world. So because of beforehand, we when we produce everything, we emit a lot of carbon dioxide equivalent. So why equivalent? Because of when we're concerned about the greenhouse effect that or greenhouses or gases that which is like have like 7 kind of gas, but to be easy, they have a kind of conversion factor and calculate everything under the name of carbon dioxide. So when we concerned about the carbon dioxide things as a like the common name, so then we call it all like the carbon emissions. So exactly, it is not only carbon dioxide, but it is something further like methane, nitrous oxide, and also like kind of refrigerant. But basically, when we work, we say carbon dioxide. We might listen to the word about like the carbon emissions, carbon reductions, carbon absorptions นะครับการปล่อยการดูดกลับแก๊สคาร์บอนไดออกไซด์หรือว่าแก๊สเรือนกระจกนะครับโดยปกติก็จะมีคำพวกนี้อยู่นะครับ so the source okay so the working concept of them can be like into like 2-3 phases. The first phases is to identify the source of emissions or absorption นะครับเฟสแรกของการทำงานคือท่านจะต้องระบุจุดที่ปล่อยหรือดูดกลับโอเคมีบวกมีลบนะครับถ้าดูดกลับได้ก็เป็นคะแนนที่ดีสำหรับเราthey emissions or the absorptions of the greenhouse gases from your environment, from your like property or from your system, which is I will describe later on. For the second phases, after you describe it, so the second phases, you have to buy the that gases onto your production, not just the property, but on your productions. Compare like the carbon dioxide emission per piece of products or unit of products you have produced. And the phase number 3, you have to have a plan to reduce it unto 0. And the target will be like 2030 for 50% and 2050 for 0 emissions or carbon neutral at that time. ก็อย่างนี้ครับมัน3เฟสก็คือเฟสแรกระบุใช่ไหมครับเฟสที่2เนี่ยเอาที่ปล่อยเนี่ยเอาไปทำเป็น carbon footprint product ก็คือว่า production 1 unit เนี่ยนะครับมีการปลดปล่อยแก๊สเรือนกระจกเท่าไหร่นั้นในเฟสที่3ก็ต้องมาหาทางลดหาทางกำจัดกันนะครับในเฟรมเวิร์คเขาทำงานกันแบบนี้และอีกหน่อยจะมีการเก็บภาษีสำหรับคนที่ไม่สามารถจะควบคุมแก๊สของตัวเองได้นะครับแก๊สเรือนกระจกของตัวเองได้เราก็ในเฟสที่3เนี่ยก็แน่นอนว่าปี2030เนี่ยประเทศพัฒนาแล้วเขาก็ตั้งลด 50% และในปี2050เขาก็ตั้ง zero emission กันทีเนี้ยวิธีการนะครับ so for how we deal with it so you better firstly you need to know what is the greenhouse gas or the carbon dioxide equivalent have emit from your property or from your process. So there are like 3 categories or 3 scope they concern. The first scope is like the direct combustions and the second scope they concern is the indirect combustions and the third scope is in the other emissions in the supply chain like traveling logistic process and all things. So the majority actually it depends on the character of your industries, which is mean like the the cluster you are in like have a different characteristic of like the emissions. The scope 1, the direct combustion is if you have kind of like burning the fossil fuel like oil, gases, and full like diesel or whatever, or coal you have in your properties. That concern to be the direct combustions. But if you don't burn anything, you don't have any combustion in your process, but you use the another form of energy like electricity. For sure, the electricity come from the power plant. So you have to classify how many watts or how many units you consume onto your properties, on your process. And what is the source of energy? The coal power plant, water power plant, solar power plant. If you can identify this good, if you cannot, there is a specific number for your area, for your countries. So, and third, you have to note about like the emissions by the traveling or some things. If you have like activity so much, so you are like fall onto this very complicated scope นะครับก็มี3สโคปที่1ก็คือการเผาไหม้ทางตรงถ้าเรากระบวนการของเรามีการเผานู่นเผานี่เยอะเราก็ต้องจดมาครับว่าเราเนี่ยใช้เชื้อเพลิงอะไรไปบ้างปริมาณเท่าไหร่สโคปที่2นะครับก็ยังข้องเกี่ยวกับพลังงานก็คือพลังงานไฟฟ้าพลังงานไอน้ำอะไรก็ตามที่เราซื้อเข้าถึงแม้เราจะไม่เผาเชื้อเพลิงโดยตรงใช่ไหมครับแต่ถ้าเราซื้อพลังงานเข้ามาแปลว่ามีคนเผาแทนเราเราซื้อจากการไฟฟ้าสมมติเราซื้อจากการไฟฟ้าเขาจะมีตัวเลขเป็นค่ากลาง emission factor ของการไฟฟ้าฝ่ายภูมิภาคการไฟฟ้าฝ่ายผลิตการไฟฟ้านครหลวงนะครับเราซื้อจากใครเวลาเราทำเซอร์เนี่ยมันจะมีตัวเลขมาตรฐานแต่ถ้าเราบอกได้ว่าของเราเนี่ยมาจากพลังงานสะอาดนะเรามีโซล่าพาวเวอร์โซล่ารูฟท็อปของเราเองเราสามารถจะ define สัดส่วนได้ว่าเฮ้ยเราพลังงานสะอาดที่ไม่ปล่อยก๊าซเรือนกระจกเนี่ยเป็นสัดส่วนเท่าไหร่ในการใช้พลังงานครับที่สโคป3คือในโลจิสติกเนาะอันนี้ยังไม่พูดถึงแล้วกันผมอย่างนี้ครับทีนี้ถ้าเราบอกว่าเฮ้ยเรากำลังที่จะปล่อยแก๊สเหล่านี้ที่ว่านะครับเท่าไหร่ใช้ไฟฟ้าเท่าไหร่อะไรอย่างไรวิธีการเดียวเลยที่จะออกรีพอร์ตได้คือต้อง record so นะครับอันนี้ต้องเข้าใจก่อนเลยว่ามันเป็นที่มาของระบบที่กำลังพูดกันว่าโดยคอนเซปต์ต้อง record ได้ถึงจะออกรีพอร์ตได้ so the most important thing is to have a record of all these parameters like energy consumption or fuel consumptions or whatever thing onto the system and the system that and is presenting to you now is like to recording all that and make it easy. You don't have to like key in by hand, but you need like IoT device and she's going to show how. Okay, so I handing over back.
So according to this insight, we provide a dashboard as well. So it can allow the company to overview the energy performance. Okay, so including maximum energy consumption, carbon emission, and for each machine. And also, so the dashboard can support the supervisor control machine status and carbon emission. Like the upper half of this dashboard, so it can present the performance of the machine usage trend, including the time distribution of each machine status, production, and statistical analysis of a defective product. Okay, so to sum up, I would like to summarize Factory OEE. Is a local and local tool to help the enterprise effectively manage equipment. OEE master equipment energy consumption, and then help enterprise to reduce costs and increase profits. And we have two solution package for your company starting. So if you are interested in this solution, just please don't be hesitate to contact with the sales and IRF. So here, that's bring me to the end of my presentation, and I'd like to hand over to the host.
Right.
People.
And it's thanks so much for your presentation. It's I'm quite clear now. How is a factory OE can more OEE performance professional is better. So it's customer can do is two option. They can quick start with the cloud solution, right? Or if they need it's more line, they can use both its cloud solution or on-prem on server local, right?
Right.
Okay, that's quite good. Yi-Heng is as we mentioned, can you share some global success case to implement the solution with the iFactory solution from Advantech as well? Because I think it's we can learn from the global best practice company, as you mentioned before.
Right. So I'll be sharing two cases. So the first one is actually for semiconductor company, and this is actually working with a local partner in Taiwan and also with Microsoft. So it recently just came online. This project is actually focused on using wireless sensing to monitor EHS factors, so environmental health and safety in the work environment. Are the key things that we're tracking right now. So in that environment, they want to know that if there is anything abnormal that happens and may impact on their activities and also production, then they want to know so they can send in an engineering team to fix things. And what's important is that for them, this kind of IoT signal, they want to be able to manage it not just inside certain teams, but on a whole plant level, plus also on a regional level because many plants support each other, and globally because they are a multinational company. So in Advantech's side, so what our solution is to bring in LoRaWAN for the wireless sensing, so different kind of signals including magnetic switches for door intrusion, also for cases where windows might be tampered. We also have people presence sensing. So if somebody is in an area they're not supposed to, they can get detected. There's also 3-axis as accelerometer sensors for example, they are using a lot of inert gases for production. They have a storage area for that. If somebody goes open the valve, the sensor on it will measure how much the valve has been turned when it's maybe not normal for somebody to switch on the gas at that time. So that's the data capture from their plant. And we're publishing this information to their dedicated cloud service that's running on iFactory. And with that information, we are building dashboards for them so they can look at different levels of the information. So the first response team is specific to each plant, so they see their own data. The function management team is actually across different plants. So they need to look at how many events are occurring across all the different factory sites. And this information will provide ticket tracking with our app so that if something happens, we make sure that somebody does solve the problem and returns things to normal, and also provide notifications from email and Microsoft Teams so that they can actually get to the information on their phone. So working with Microsoft, it looks like this. So we have the LoRaWAN sensors, including temperature, humidity, magnetic switches, even vibration for some of their pump-oriented machines. So that's all the signal capture in the physical world to make data go digital first. So locally, we have an edge server, which we are running an IoT operations service to get their data into MQTT and also do the first line processing to create tickets locally and also to notify the people in charge in that plant. So our apps are here on top of the Microsoft architecture. And for regional management, we send this information to cloud on Microsoft's MQTT service as well. and we have corresponding apps running in the cloud to ensure that everything is running, and Grafana is used for data visualization. So this is one of the example screens here that's running in the cloud, so they can access the information, the managers, anywhere they are, even if they are not in office. Okay, so this is the first project case for semiconductor manufacturing. Okay. The second one is with our customer, Master. So some people might know the name because they also produce PC peripherals, for example, heatsink, cooling, and also power supply computer cases for the consumer industry. For the ODM, they also have B2B business with thermal solutions for electric vehicles and data centers as well. So we're starting with their local site in Taiwan first, and also rolling out to their other sites globally. So in their case, they already have an existing MES system from a provider locally in Taiwan, and also they have a different SCADA system that was implemented by a China team. So they do have existing systems in place, but they want to be able to produce more data and also to get enough data from their these systems together plus their equipment, so that they can have KPI metrics to quantify what their production performance is. And also this data is very important for them to pass customer audit, to provide the digital non-refutable evidence that they are compliant with the customer's requirements in terms of production, so that everything is stable. So with iFactory's offerings and also the hardware for data acquisition, we help Master to upgrade their operations to a more digital approach. So the key things here is that the customer wants to increase the utilization and also reduce breakdown, and also reduce the handling time anomalies and improve quality in general. So the real-time data capture we're doing is with the data gateway, so that the information from the equipment, from the PLCs, or for PC-based equipment where they have CSV logs, we parse the data and then send this data to the cloud, so that they only need one site to manage all the different factories they have around the world, and consolidate that data together with work order metadata, so that they can attribute any changes in engineering or issues during production to that specific order and product. And in course of doing this, we also help them reduce the turnaround time of handling issues, because right now they have separate offices in each floor with people just there ready to support the production team if anything goes wrong. But it involves the production team writing down information and then going out of the working line to go to the office and find people. And if sometimes they're serving different requests, the issue gets delayed, and they want to reduce the handling time for this. Also, for their data center customers, they need to provide additional quality records. So this is where SPC comes in, real-time analysis with all their different manufacturing processes, so that they know whether this produced semi-finished good or finished good does fall into the engineering parameters that's required by the customer, and so it performs well. Lastly, we still also leverage the same mechanisms for making sure the notification is on time, so that the people who are in charge of the different issues are notified as soon as possible when the event happens. So this would be the architecture that I think everybody is quite familiar with working in the industry, is that we have different kind of equipment or sensors on the floor. So the gateway helps to collect the data firsthand. If it's from CSV logs files, we also have additional parsing programs in order to enable us to read and make sense of the data and change it to be treated as parameters. So since in this case, the customer would like to have all the services in one cloud site, we have specifically set up a DMC IT zone to protect their system, so that the only data that is shared outbound does not come in directly from their floor. So they will be more difficult for somebody to intrude directly from the cloud side. And the data is synced all with MQTT, so that the database on the cloud has all the running data, and we can produce these kind of dashboards based on that information. The apps used for this case cover OE, SPC, and on the maintenance in order to support them to digitalize their operations. Okay, so that's very quickly two cases that happened very recently to share with you guys on maybe to serve as a reference on how you would like to upgrade your current factory and also your manufacturing business by using these apps. So as you can see that in different scenarios, we plug in different apps to serve your needs, but you never have to buy anything in one go, on contrary compared to typical MES. Okay. So that's just very quickly some of the projects we're doing. Yeah, Kuslipan, anything you want to add or you think is particularly valuable we want to go into for these two cases?
Right. That's quite good information. I'm smile with this, Ihan. In this picture, you can imagine if one manufacturing need to do MES with the integrate with the database from ERP, work order, costing, that has piece of work maybe take time a year. So in the solution to cloud as you present, that maybe take time only a month. That we can implement for the customer. And also I think in the picture I separate in the three group of person. One group for engineering or maintenance, that they do like operation technology. They integrate a lot of signal from the machine to the database. That has piece of work already. Then the second part, IT, that MIS or IT department need to preparation database, preparation network, IP address to ensure that database is correct from the power meter, from the sensor, from the database, from the ERP work order something. That is not so easier. You make that more easy now. So when they get the information like this on the right side on the dashboard, we have dashboard for leader or supervisor to lead the information like proactive work. That would be great. And also for production manager or plant manager, they can know situation in their plant. They don't need to stay on the factory right now, right? They can access from everywhere.
Yeah, even on your smartphone.
Right. I think that is more proactive and more competitive advantage with the technology platform from Advantech. I think it's we are also implement in Thailand more and more to have is help manufacturing to make more competitive edge. May I switch just only 2 or 3 slides before its time is go out.
Yep.
Right. In represent of industrial revolution or IREF, we help customer a lot to proof of concept with the return of investment. On the left side, we just to know before we do proof of concept with the customer what the OEE in their factory, something like that. For example, is 60. So when we start with there is a manual log, not real-time monitoring. May they OE about 60%. So when we do proof of concept with the customer, we just to connect signal from their machine, do configuration with the system. Then we will have real-time monitoring with new OEE. And OEE may is not 60 because the formulation is not correct or formulation not include plan downtime or set up something. So we define together with the customer with a new OEE value. Then maybe at 1 or 2 weeks, we get the data from them, then verify together the right data. After the right data, we just to ask the good question, how much target for new OEE. So for example, if the new target OEE jump from 60% OEE to 70% OEE, we help customer to calculate what the benefit that for example if they 10% of OEE their productivity per day maybe 10,000 pieces. If 10,000 pieces one piece maybe 1 baht for example they should get 10,000 baht per day, right? Then is if they 10,000 baht per day multiplied by working day in a year, maybe 300 year multiplied by 10,000, that is huge money, maybe 3 million Thai baht, something like that. So they will know, if they invest only 100,000 baht for one line, they gain 3 million Thai baht, or they can win a return of investment in only within 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Quick implement for the customer and quick proof point for return of investment for the customer. So we will recalculate again when we do POC with them after 1 month to how much that OEE can improve the new target, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, because for as we all know, because we're doing business, for the business managers, for the C-level managers, for them, how is this investment going to turn into more money for the company? Is a key question they will always ask. And for the people who are in charge of execution and ensuring smooth operations, they need to balance between spending on the investment to get the right technology and tools, and at the same time they need to be able to quantify how much it increase. And I think, Kusipon, you perfectly illustrated that example with the POC approach, is that we can actually, over the span of a month, very quickly build this up and actually demonstrate growth and benefits already. Yeah.
Right. And the second thing that, from data to information insight that Ancho, that is may a lot of helpful for many factory, but sometimes they have like silo KPI. They have is a production KPI, they have is engineering KPI, they have is a supply chain planning KPI that is not integrate to each other. So we just to use frame of digital transformation in the manufacturing that we have like we implement good technology platform from Advantage iFactory to them. They can improve that process, and we also mentor them to use data insight for action improvement in the same KPI. For example, a very good sample from Anne. Engineering, they know how much the energy consumption they measure, but they never share that energy consumption monitoring with the production because they cannot grouping or they cannot know which line, how much productivity per line. So when we have is a power meter, when we have is a productivity by OE from same machine, we are grouping so they know performance on that line. They can know is performance consume how much energy on that line. That they can do like is a collaboration together to have same KPI, to have project improvement together. Because it's most of production, they don't care much about how much energy they consume. Right now, we have a same dashboard in the machine, in the production room, in the office room, indicator. If there is energy consumption over, that may be changed from green to red, something like that, and also notification them. So they have same target, same goal. So that is the way to improve transformation journey with the cost effective that we do for many customer.
ก็สำหรับวันนี้ถ้าไม่มีคำถามพี่ต๋องมีอะไรอีกไหมครับ
วันที่31นะครับมกราที่ TGI สัปดาห์หน้านะครับสัปดาห์หน้าที่เราพรีเซนต์กันวันนี้เนี่ยเรามีเป็น OEE workshop นะครับที่ทำเป็น quick win นะ1วันเนี่ยสามารถ build จากฮาร์ดแวร์จนมาถึงออกเป็น OEE เหมือนกับที่เราพูดกันวันนี้เนี่ยเอาไปใช้งานยังไงเนี่ยได้เลยนะครับดร.พอดีเมื่อกี้เห็นแวบๆจาก
ก็ไป
ใน message
เรียกว่าไปสอนเซตระบบไปให้เลยว่าไอ้ง่ายนี่ง่ายยังไงง่ายจริงๆใช่ไหมอย่างนี้ใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่ครับใช่นะครับมีทีมงานที่จะสอนให้ฝั่ง IT หรือฝั่งวิศวกรรม นะครับหรือฝ่ายผลิตที่มาทำเวิร์กช็อปเนี่ยได้เข้าใจจะได้นำไปใช้อย่างมีประสิทธิภาพได้นะครับท่านไหนสนใจหรือว่าองค์กรของท่านน่าจะนำไปใช้ประโยชน์เชิญนะครับวันที่31 มกราที่ TGI นะครับรายละเอียดเดี๋ยวให้น้องแอดมินส่งให้ในแต่ละท่านต่อไปนะครับดร.
ได้ครับก็เอ่อสุดท้ายเนี้ยนะครับถ้าใครอยากคอนแทคกับเรานะครับสามารถที่จะสแกน QR code นี้นะครับแล้วก็แอดไลน์ของ iRep เอาไว้คุยกันนะครับมีอะไรถามมานะครับถามคำ2 คำนี้ไม่ต้องกลัวเสียตังค์นะครับเรายินดีตอบครับตอบได้ช่วยกันได้เพื่อจะพาอุตสาหกรรมไทยของเราเนี่ยที่จะเคลื่อนไปด้วยกันนะเราอยากเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในความสำเร็จของทุกท่านนะครับก็แค่นั้นก็ดีใจแล้วนะครับก็มีอะไรก็แอดไว้มีอะไรจะได้คุยกันนะครับ so today so I would like to pass my gratitude and warm gratitude to our partner from Advantech HQ so both of you like Ihan and so as usual you have like always kind to us always share very valuable knowledge to our customer and our friend in Thailand so you are very good friend so thank you very much thank you from bottom of our heart thank you very much
ขอบคุณ
นะครับ
ทุก
แล้วก็
ท่าน
ขอบ
ค
คุณ
รับ
ทุกท่าน
thank
ด้วย
you อี
เช่น
เหิ
กั
ง
น
thank you แอน
ครับขอบ
Thank
คุณ
you
และ
ขอบคุณครับ
สวัส
ด
ดี
ร.
ครับใจเจียนบ๊ายบาย
See you bye
No,
bye
thank you
บ๊ายบาย
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ